Let's get one thing straight. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez speaks, people listen. Her words don't just echo in the halls of Congress. They ripple across social media feeds, newsrooms, and dinner tables nationwide. Whether she's delivering a passionate speech on the House floor or firing off a tweet that instantly goes viral, AOC commands attention in a way few politicians ever have. Since her stunning upset victory in 2018, AOC has become a political supernova. More than a lawmaker, she's a cultural phenomenon and a master of social media. Her rise from bartender in the Bronx to the youngest woman ever elected to Congress is the stuff of modern political legend, inspiring a new generation to believe in the power of grassroots activism. Her authenticity sets her apart. She's not afraid to show the messy, human side of governing, often breaking down legislation while cooking dinner on Instagram Live. By letting people into her daily life, she demystifies the political process and makes it accessible to everyone, not just policy wonks or insiders. This approach has built a massive, loyal following that sees her as a champion fighting for those ignored by the system. Her supporters don't just admire her, they feel seen and represented by her, fueling a movement that stretches far beyond her New York district. AOC's influence isn't just about fiery speeches or sharp tweets. It's about her ability to make complex debates go viral and relatable. She translates policy jargon into everyday language, sparking conversations that reach people who might otherwise tune out politics entirely. She's fundamentally changed how politicians engage with the public, setting the agenda from her living room and bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. By leveraging live streams and direct communication, she's redefined what it means to be accessible and transparent in the digital age. When AOC targets someone, it's never random. It's a calculated move to make a larger point about American politics. Her confrontations are strategic, designed to highlight systemic issues and spark national debate. And on a recent Sunday evening, she aimed her considerable influence at one of the MAGA movement's most notorious architects, proving once again that when AOC steps into the spotlight, the whole country pays attention. The stage for this showdown wasn't a debate hall, but AOC's Instagram Live. On October 5, 2025, she was engaging directly with her followers about the government shutdown, debunking MAGA claims blaming Democrats for wanting health care for undocumented immigrants. She dismissed these arguments as desperate, saying the movement was running on fumes and resorting to fear-mongering. Then she zeroed in on Stephen Miller, former Trump advisor and a symbol of hardline conservatism. By singling him out, AOC put a face to the ideology she was critiquing, making the abstract personal. The informal setting let her pivot from policy to personality, setting up a viral moment. The real drama was about to unfold as she shifted from Miller's politics to his persona, using humor as her weapon of choice. With her audience tuned in and the energy in the room palpable, AOC launched her comedic salvo, calling Stephen Miller a clown in front of a crowd eager for both entertainment and insight. She didn't just throw out an insult, she set the stage for a pointed critique, using humor as her opening move. She followed up with a jab at his height, a classic comedic device that drew laughter from the audience and instantly made the moment memorable. The crowd's reaction was immediate: laughter, applause, and a sense of camaraderie. The accuracy of the joke didn't matter. What mattered was how it served as a hook, drawing people in and making them receptive to a larger point about the psychology behind the MAGA movement. AOC's humor wasn't just for laughs, it was a strategic tool to open up a deeper conversation. She suggested that Miller's public displays of anger and bravado were really just overcompensation for deeper insecurities, cleverly turning his hardline politics into a caricature of the angry short man trope. By doing so, she made his bluster seem less threatening and more like a punchline. The humor was disarming, making her followers laugh at a figure many find intimidating and transforming a tense political moment into something approachable and even fun. It was a way to take the edge off, to make the conversation accessible. Later, AOC clarified that her critique wasn't really about Miller's height at all, but about the way some people overcompensate for their personal insecurities by acting out aggressively in public life. She wanted to make it clear that her comments were about behavior, not physical traits. She embraced the distinction between a short king, someone confident and self-assured regardless of stature, and a short troll, someone who lets insecurity drive their actions. By framing her comments this way, she shifted the conversation from personal attacks to a broader critique of toxic behavior. The real argument, she insisted, was about insecure masculinity and the way it manifests in politics. Not about anyone's physical stature. This was a conversation about character, not height, and about how insecurity can shape public personas. By painting Miller as a troll overcompensating for his own issues, AOC reframed the MAGA movement as a laughable display of male fragility, inviting her audience to see the humor in what might otherwise seem threatening or divisive. AOC made a key distinction. She didn't call the MAGA movement toxic masculinity, but insecure masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a broad cultural problem, but insecure masculinity is about the performance of strength to mask self-doubt. AOC argued that MAGA's bravado is a fragile facade, not genuine strength. By framing it this way, she changed the rules. Mockery, not just condemnation, becomes a powerful tool. Those with fragile egos are uniquely vulnerable to ridicule. She believes the movement's power comes from inspiring fear and commanding respect. By diagnosing their behavior as insecurity, AOC gives her followers permission to see them as pathetic, not fearsome. It's a psychological judo move, using the movement's own weight against it. Having diagnosed the problem as insecure masculinity, AOC offered a simple prescription: laugh at them. She told her supporters that making fun of insecure men is one of the best ways to dismantle their movement. This wasn't a call to ignore real threats, but to fight the cultural battle with humor and ridicule. Laughter, she argued, is a potent tool of resistance, deflating the self-importance that fuels authoritarian movements. Authoritarians thrive on being taken seriously. Mockery strips away their mystique. AOC's advice empowers ordinary people to resist through shared laughter, memes, and jokes. By turning figures of fear into punchlines, you erode their cultural capital. It's a strategy to win not by outshouting, but by making the opposition a punchline. While AOC was turning Miller into a case study in insecure masculinity, Miller was busy waging his own political war. On the same day, he attacked another Democrat on Fox News and social media, calling his opponent vile and deeply warped. This split-screen moment highlights the contrast. AOC uses ridicule and analysis. Miller uses direct, aggressive attacks. Miller's world is one of perpetual conflict, where opponents are evil, not just wrong. He didn't respond to AOC's jokes. His brand is built on outrage, not humor. This reinforces AOC's point. His response to opposition is escalation, not laughter. Miller remains a central figure in the MAGA ecosystem, rallying the base with fiery rhetoric. The clash between AOC's ridicule and Miller's aggression shows two political forces operating on different wavelengths. In her broadcast, AOC expanded her call to action, appealing to secure, confident men. She invited men who aren't threatened by others' success to join the pushback against insecure masculinity. This wasn't an attack on men, but an invitation to help redefine masculinity. AOC praised good dads and strong values, affirming that masculinity itself isn't the problem. The issue is a brittle, performative version of it. She asked men to be visible examples of healthy strength, comfortable with powerful women, and unafraid to call out bluster. It's a call for good men to help reclaim masculinity from those who twist it into a tool of anger and division. By reframing the fight, she made it clear everyone has a stake in defeating the politics of insecurity. The AOC-Miller clash is more than a fleeting social media spat. It's a microcosm of evolving political discourse. AOC's strategy of targeted ridicule marks a cultural shift. In the internet age, humor can be the most effective weapon. She's not just landing one-liners. She's using humor for sustained cultural critique. Critics warn this could dumb down debate, but AOC bets that humor can break through polarization and create solidarity. The risk is endless trolling, but the reward is exposing the absurdity of opponents' positions. Humor can do what facts sometimes can't: unite allies and disarm adversaries. By pointing and laughing, AOC aims to change the emotional weather of politics, replacing fear and anger with defiant, joyful mockery. In today's climate, that shift could be transformative. AOC's takedown of Stephen Miller was about more than one man's height or attitude. It was a moment that revealed the deeper power of humor in politics. In a world where outrage and fear often dominate the headlines, her approach offered a refreshing alternative. It was a masterclass in modern political communication, showing how wit can cut through noise and reach people in ways that facts and figures sometimes can't. Her core message, "Movements built on insecure masculinity thrive on fear," reminds us that many political strategies are designed to intimidate and divide. The best way to dismantle them is to laugh, to refuse to take their bluster seriously, and to expose the fragility behind the bravado. By labeling Miller a clown, she reframed the dynamic, shifting the conversation from fear to farce. This encouraged her followers to see these figures as objects of ridicule, not menace. It's a strategy that disarms opponents, empowers supporters, and changes the emotional temperature of the debate. Instead of anxiety, it brings the unifying power of shared laughter, creating a sense of belonging and hope. Humor, AOC argues, is regenerative. It doesn't just help us cope, it helps us heal and connect. It builds community and resilience for the long fight, reminding us that joy can be an act of resistance. Sometimes the most radical act is to laugh in the face of those who demand your fear. Policy and protest matter, but so does the spirit with which we fight. The cultural battle can be won with a well-aimed joke, a clever meme, or a satirical sketch that exposes hypocrisy. Exposing the absurdity of authoritarian posturing, humor punctures the illusion of invincibility that these figures try to project. Humor becomes more than a coping mechanism. It's a weapon, a rallying cry, and a shield all at once. In the struggle for democracy, laughter is a force that can unite, inspire, and sustain us through the toughest battles. Sometimes the mightiest sword is a sharp wit, reminding us that joy, humor, and solidarity are just as essential as any policy or protest.